The tricky triangle can prove treacherous for some and a blast for others. The varying angulation of the three corners tonight are utterly unique, where all three ends of this speedway are different from the next. Tonight, the Pocono Raceway is the next stop on the SRN HairClub Truck Series, playing host to round 8 of 24 on Season 7 of Speed Racing Network action. I am Emerson Arden with Jonathan Byer alongside in the virtual booth this evening, and we're excited to be bringing you live coverage from virtual Long Pond, Pennsylvania. And last time out, JB, it was Jeffrey Radke who made the late race overtake on a desperate fuel save attempt from Andrew Harris, who Radke was en route to his victory 2 weeks ago in South Beach. And tonight, we have a plethora of patriotic schemes in light of Veterans Day yesterday, and we'll be putting all of those on display tonight.
Share those with you guys. But we've been on a pretty good run, Emerson, of some really good racing. And we go to a track that's really racy, so I think that's a good combination this week, and we should be in for a good show.
We absolutely are in for a great show. Let's get down to our starting lineup. There it is up on the screen, and it is Drake Carty with the pole tonight at Pocono with a 55.281. It's Matthew Greathouse who will start to his outside. Dylan Godinez and Austin Long will make up row number 2. Jeffrey Vickery, Justin Smith, row 3. It'll be Lane Doyle in P7, Kyle Spees in P8, James Shane Wolf and Bo Brady to round out the top 10, JB.
David Flanagan will roll off 11th, Ben Park in 12th, Connor Cunningham 13th, Sean Long in 14th, Evan Carbaugh and Jason Green in the next row, Zachary Tallman, Sean Merriman 17th and 18th, Jeffrey Radke and Kyle Johnson will round out the top 20.
21st will be the 99 of Wally Babb, 22nd and Corey Stahl. Row 12 will be Michael Sidor and Sean Corcoran, with 25th being Spencer Brown and 26th being Dalton McKinney. Row 14 will be Joe Ruggles and Chris Luttrell, Jason Kratke and Shane Ledoux, who make up row 15. And 33 trucks on the grid this evening. 31st will be Mark Person, 32nd Daniel Park, 33rd Robert Vick for tonight's 50-lap event here from Long Pond, Pennsylvania, JB, and they are up on their formation lap. Let's get out there and look at some of the paint schemes. You have a little bit of blue. Yeah, there is the American flag there on the side of Drake Carty's machine.
Yeah, almost missed that one earlier. Dylan Godinez, that's one of my favorites out here in the field, and that's just as patriotic as it gets. Kind of reminds me of that Eminem's patriotic scheme at 36. Speaking of 36, there's 36. A few years back, if everybody remembers that one, Ben Park up there's rocking a little red, white, and blue. But that number 5 truck,
that's beautiful.
That's clean right there. I like that a lot.
A little bit of patriotic 24 there for Connor, and there we are.
That 78 truck's pretty cool too.
We'll get better looks at these in a bit, but here we are. We're racing here from Pocono. I thought we were getting into turn 3. Here we go.
We were expecting how good some of these trucks look, but we're off and away so far. Everybody getting to turn 1 nice and easy.
Got a wreck in the back already. Trucks hard into the inside wall. Oh my goodness, big hits in the back. Kyle Johnson involved in it to junk him up out of turn 1. Big damage there for the 00. Chris Luttrell, Zachary Tallman, and Kyle Johnson.
We were kind of talking about Emerson at the beginning of the, when we were sitting watching practice. The exit of turn 1 is treacherous, and it's in every vehicle. That 48 truck is that's got some heavy damage.
It has seen some better days, but you're right, JB. It is treacherous, and why it is treacherous, especially right on cold tires. So we'll see here. I know it didn't start with Kyle Johnson, but he gets in it. Kind of a wide shot. Big hit there. Looks like Zachary Tallman was turned into the outside wall, and oh my goodness, up and over. Jason Kratke, not fully, but lands back on the wheels, that 54 machine. That'll be a riot. Shane Ledoux involved as well. Took about 6 trucks, big time damage in this incident.
Yeah, the 54 almost went over there. He was pretty close to doing just that.
Yeah, he was. Get a shot here.
We're discussing, like I said, about being treacherous, especially on full tires. And as big as this track is, it's really narrow right through there with that inside wall. You know, you only have that little out lane right there on the bottom, but anything that hits that inside wall is going to bounce back up towards the track, and then obviously anything that bounces off the outside wall will bounce inward.
That's where it starts. Tallman gets loose. Radke, last week's winner, has nowhere to go, and big damage for Jeffrey Radke as well in this incident. The McNingers 46 like McKinney, yeah.
Discrepancy for space.
Yeah.
Coming off the corner, and just as we were talking treacherous, it's not just, you know, the looseness coming off the corner. It's also tough to gauge where you're at as far as who's got run. Yeah, that's just tight right there.
Yeah. One more look at it that I want to take here, JB, and I think you'll agree with this one. This won't be alright. Take a look at this shot from Jason Radke. Thought he had it, and then just clipped at last second.
But he didn't hit anything very hard.
Yeah, he should be okay.
So I think he might be all right. I mean, obviously he's gonna have some right side damage from getting clipped, but you know, him kind of going over on his side probably helped him, because otherwise he would have been face first in the outside wall, and that would have likely ended his day really early. So maybe best case scenario there for the 54. Nobody wants to be halfway turned over, but that might be one of those situations where you're okay with it.
Well, unfortunately, we didn't even get to get a good shot of Shane LeDoux's truck before it was damaged, but here's what's left of Shane LeDoux's machine. Unfortunate that it'll be an early damage to that machine. Just checking out some of the other schemes that could be patriotic cars. I think that's the only one that's on pit lane.
Yeah, and we posted screenshots of all the ones we found in practice on our Speed Racing Network social media platform. So if you want to take a closer look at some of those trucks, we just posted those up there, so take a look at those.
There's one from Michael Sidor.
Yeah, I like that. You know, kind of a plain livery there.
Yeah.
Which we used to see quite a bit more, even in NASCAR, obviously with the Air Force being a sponsor of some teams. We've seen pretty cool schemes like that before.
Evan Carl Bonds, we saw his earlier. This is kind of the schemes we saw earlier. I really like Flanagan's, man. I'll take another look at this one willingly.
Yeah, that might be my vote for the best one in this race, because it's well done, right? It's not just the color change and everything else is the same for what he normally runs. It's all the package together.
You say patriotic, right? And everyone thinks of red, white, and blue. Not no one, because I guess Michael Sidor did a green truck as well. But very few drivers would go this route and go military green, and you're right, it's done very well.
And then not 3 weeks away, because we have a few off weeks, but 3 races away, where we have our throwback week at Darlington coming up. And Emerson, as you know, our field here at Speed Racing Network does some amazing work.
They do like to go all out.
Some of the creativity, like they keep their sponsors that they rock every week, but they make the scheme fit it. It's really well done. I think they largely do it better than what we see a lot of NASCAR teams do nowadays. Sure. Because I think recently we've seen some throwbacks that you kind of scratch your head at, but they do a really good job this field. So I'm really looking forward to seeing some of those. Those will start to come out, week by week now as we inch closer. But I know a lot of guys are currently working on them.
So here we go. We didn't get a proper call for the start. That's on me. I thought we had another turn, but we did not. Drake Carty.
The 3 turns instead of 4 is throwing
you off. That caught me out, man. What turn 4? Drake Carty, Matthew Greathouse, the front row. It's Godinez, the long lane Road 2, Jeffrey Vickery rounds out the top 5. And as the iRacing.com safety vehicle, we'll find its safety down in the pit lane, the field in the hands of 59 of Drake Carty. Green flag is back in the air, racing once again from Pocono. So far, so good. Everyone survives the first 2.5 turns of this track. Drake Carty all the way down to the bottom side of the racetrack, JB. He is already going IndyCar mode, trying to break that slipstream, but for Dylan Godinez, that doesn't matter. Godinez closes that gap.
Yeah, and you're going to see that all day long, the front stretch being the longest we see all year. That's where your draft's really going to matter. You got to set yourself up with a really good exit off turn 3. And you're going to be trying to break that draft. You know, that's something, especially with how much drag these trucks have, that's going to be really important. So keep an eye on that bobbing and weaving, the IndyCar mode, as you will.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll see down there, these trucks, they can get down onto that flat. It helps them turn almost like a road course curbing, JB, which we actually do have similar style curbing here in turn 3. You'll see that these drivers, they almost avoid it in turn 3 because it really gets the truck upset. But the flat down in turn 2, JB, those trucks are really going to use those to help turn. And you really see it come to fruition in the tunnel turn, how much speed can you carry through there. And it's all based on how well you can hit the apron down in turn 2.
Yeah, the 3 large points of this track that are important is your exit to turn 3. Like I was saying, you want to get that good run down that very, very long front straightaway. Your exit to turn 2, because that's where you could lose the truck the easiest, and then keeping your momentum through this turn right here, the tunnel turn. Those are the 3 big areas. You can kind of give up a little bit of speed into 1 and into 3 with the effort of trying to get it. It's something you have to remind yourself as a driver every lap and find the rhythm, because the 3 corners are so different.
Battle here for the 10th position, Bo Brady, David Flanagan. And now Flanagan under attack from Jason Green. This is a side-by-side battle in the field back here for 11th.
Snaking around. You can also save a little bit of fuel that way too, which is always something that comes into fruition for these Pocono races, it seems like, is fuel mileage. That's something that we'll have to keep an eye on as well. But you know, if you're somewhere in the middle of this pack right here, you can actually save quite a bit. So that could already be on some of these guys' minds early.
And the fuel loads for today, JB, right? If you can make it 25 laps, that's going to be key. And if it was close to make it 25 laps, that caution certainly helps. But, you know, then you got to shift your number back, right? You know, to make it worth your while, you shift it back to lap 27. You can make it to 27 on this tank of fuel, you should be okay.
And this is still a place where tires make a difference.
Yes.
We go to a lot of tracks where it's like, you know, we're talking a big discrepancy. I mean, just 1 lap can make a difference. Practice when you guys are trying to run some qualifying laps. You know, once you get past lap 2 on your tires, you got to kind of re-rack it, because it's not going to be anything close. And so that's something to keep an eye on too, because we saw last week a big benefit in short pitting in building that gap, and it's kind of the same here.
Riding aboard with Matthew Greathouse as he treks down the Long Pond straightaway. Some calls this the back straight. I would call it the back straight, but Long Pond is suffice, and we call this.
I would argue there's no back straightaway.
Yeah, I call this the short shoot. I don't really know if it has a name.
Yeah, I don't, you know, if somebody sponsors it, it might.
Yep.
Isn't that how that normally goes?
Yeah.
But this is a good view back behind, you know, looking at that camera angle right there. How you really have different lines you could run in turn 3. There's a lot of options there. You can kind of, drive it in real deep and make like a big diamond. You can kind of roll right on that yellow line, even get some of those curves.
Even there in
same
one.
thing that you see here in 1. Yeah, and it's becoming more popular to work higher in 1. I think as the track's aged a little bit.
Yeah.
They used to put traction compound up there, but that didn't really entice it. But you see the next gen cars when they run here, they take full advantage of all the lanes offered in turn 3. Here, there's really only one option.
Yeah,
and you don't necessarily want to go through their side by side either.
You see here, Shane Wolf, and for the pointed down, it's gonna work. He's gonna try that curbing on the inside. But you gotta be very, very careful. You're gonna have to modulate the throttle when you go down there, and you just see Cal Speeds had that higher lane out of turn 3. JB, it pays off for him. He gets to get on the gas sooner. He makes that straightaway longer effectively, and Speeds will hold station for now in P6.
When you just see how rough that was on the steering wheel right there for him. You feel those rumble strips there like you're on the highway, and they can upset the truck. You're definitely right, Emerson, especially as we get further on this run where it's just going to be a little bit more slippery anyway. You can overstep the bounds a little bit there. Good battle.
They're all over one another, and when you're running that close,
all these guys.
When you're running that close, you can really upset the other truck's air. On corner entry, we were talking before the race, but you have to run loose to be fast here. So a lot of these trucks, are already loose. These drivers are driving it in a way where the truck is free on corner entry, and it helps them turn. But if somebody's riding on your tailgate, JB, and is already taking the air off your spoiler, you go into that corner, and you're expecting the same amount of grip, and it turns a little too much. You could be in trouble.
Yeah, and saying it every week, but it's still something that's new to us. Is this new aero package these trucks were updated with a little while back now, but a lot of these guys are running these tracks with that setup for the first time. So there's just a little bit of a difference there. Something you definitely have to gauge because, in practice everybody kind of spreads out. This is the first time that everybody's been nose to tail together, and so naturally your handling is going to be a little bit different.
Uh-oh,
Ben Park, Wally Babb. Looks
Caution.
like involved in a little incident here. Would have damaged the front end of the 17.
Season 4. Season 4 champ in trouble.
He's just had a, unfortunately, tough start to the season. And none of it really his own doing.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of how it goes. Sometimes we'll get a good look at what happened here.
Here we go. Racing Evan Carlbaum. Sideways.
A little loose. Okay.
That's about it.
I think the 99 may have gotten in the back of him, but the 17 was already going around, I think.
Yeah.
Either way, just maybe let that happen a little quicker.
Just kind of give him
kudos to the 78 there, giving them plenty of room. It's tough to go through their side by side. But he did a good job giving Ben plenty of room to operate coming off the corner. And just a bad aero situation. On the outside, truck right behind you. Oh, tough contact.
We'll get one more look at it from the rear end of the 17 machine. See if there was any help to finish the job. A little bit, but as he said, he was already sideways, which is very true. He was sideways on the racing line.
Possibly couldn't have been able to save it, but that would have been tough to do with how crossed up that truck already was. Pit road's a busy place though.
That it is, JB.
So this throws something into the strategy here.
Oh,
we got
wow.
38 laps left, and everybody's coming down.
The whole field. I wonder, JB, if this is now a certain you can make it to the end. Because 50 laps, is... It's, it's a race, but it's a short race in terms of Pocono when you're talking about fuel mileage.
Yeah, and, these guys obviously have a better picture, too, of mileage now that they've been in the pack a little bit, so maybe some guys know what they can save, so that could that could change things a little bit, but everybody's still got to get on and off pit road cleanly, and so far it looks like that's what's happening.
Down and away. Wow, there you are. They almost fanned out more on pit exit than they did on the restart. I have to say, JB, that restart was very tame.
Yeah, and that could be a thing where the field just said, okay, hold on a second. We don't want to turn this into a pacing fest, because the pace laps here are a long time.
Yes, that is true.
And so they maybe just decided, hey, let's settle in here for a few laps, put things together. But that's kind of been the course, I think, of what we've seen so far this season, is we have a couple early yellows, things kind of settle in, we go for a long run. And then some races it finishes out on the long run, and then sometimes we have a few late cautions. But we're right now in that middle part of the race where I think we could restart here and settle into a longer green flag stint.
I agree, but how aggressive are these drivers going to be now? If that was the fuel stop to make it to the end, you know, now pit strategy almost would be out the window.
Yeah, that is true.
You see the 7 coming down to top off. I'm surprised
top
more
off a
are
little
not.
bit. Insurance.
Dan Park and Jason Cracky, they do. We are 1 to green, so we'll be going green this time. Bye. Because we're running 100% fuel loads, right?
Yep, correct.
So yeah, I mean 100% fuel at Pocono, you're talking nearly 40 laps. You know, you're talking really 37, 38 laps like you would at a plate track. And you know, this restart is happening with 36 laps to go, 35 when you cross the line. You're not going to have a whole lot left in the fuel tank. You know, if you come in now, you're thinking about maybe a potential, you know, overtime attempt or two. Which, you know, that has also happened at Pocono plenty of times.
Yep. It seems like it either ends in a shootout or fuel mileage, and there's no in between. So we're in store for one of those finishes. But we have some players up front to kind of highlight before we go green here. Matthew Greathouse is going to restart on the front row. Justin Smith and Austin DeLong right behind him. So some guys who have made a pretty decent start to the race here that have been kind of quiet up front runners so far this season. So we'll see how they fire off on this restart.
That we will. So the field of, well, it was 33. We are now 28 lead lap trucks and 30 trucks still running here in Speed Race Network HairClub Truck Series Pocono race. And so Drake Carty, Matthew Greathouse will lead the field back to green. iRacing.com. Safety vehicle finds its safety down to pit lane. We are racing once again from Pocono. Drake Carty still leads here at Pocono. He's got the advantage right now over Matthew Greathouse, Austin DeLong, Justin Smith, and Bo Brady, the top 5. And we'll see just if this aggression does ramp up or if everyone settles. And we got 3 wide for everback, so I guess it's ramping up a little bit.
I was just looking at that, about to say, Emerson, I think we're cranked up back here. I'm impressed with some of these guys working the top line in one, and that's why we saw that 3 wide, is these guys were really getting after it. 3 wide through the tunnel turn is a bold statement as well. But we're going to make it through, it looks like, just fine.
Barely. Connor takes all advantage of it.
Barely. But keep an eye on this group as we get back to turn 1, because like I said, really impressed with what they're doing as far as corner entry, rolling that top line, and making a lot of work. I mean, there was a couple drivers that passed 3 or 4 trucks there.
Fastest lap of the day, JB, goes to Bo Brady.
Sweet Tarts machine. That thing, you can't miss that one.
Nope.
That's a bright truck right there.
Oh, contacts! Hello.
Bo Brady just getting a little physical.
Butter woke up a little bit. Truck outside.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of late information.
Caution!
Caution for Shane Ledoux, it looks like.
Cool. Lights up the tires, but it looks like the truck looks okay.
I think we're okay. Yep.
Looks a lot better than it did on lap 1.
Yeah. Yeah, he got that thing fixed up.
Uh-oh. It's going to be contact at the back of the field. Featuring everyone's favorite, Joe Ruggles.
3 wide into 1 right here.
To be fair, the truck to his inside also, the 74 Corcoran. 3 wide into 1. 3 trucks just don't fit into one spot.
Ooh, almost saved it. Oh, he was so close to saving that truck.
He was really trying not to bring out the yellow.
But a fantastic job not to hit anything. My goodness, that's a tough spot to spin and not hit anything. How kind of aggressive the banking is at the racetrack. But kudos to the couple guys that were behind him too, avoiding that, not piling on in there. But it's tough here to know how much room you have. You really can't see very well.
Yeah, all of them kind of banged off each other too.
And you know, if they're using the iRacing spotters, those don't give that much information. That could be a situation where, unfortunately, he just does not have.
You might have not even known they were 3 wide.
Yeah, exactly.
But Shane Ledoux goes for a spin. If there's any questions on fuel mileage, that has been settled. And the question I do have is, who are our great partners here at Speed Racing Network? I think I'd like to take a moment here and go find out, along with the rest of us viewers here. And we're going to take a quick moment, and we'll step aside and hear a quick message from those great partners here at SRN that make the world go round for us. Don't go anywhere.
What I'm about to do is something you never want to do, ever, period. But because I have top coat F11, I can. Watch this. Literally, black paint. I'm just wiping it dry. Come on, you can't beat that. You just can't beat that. That's top cut F11 for you.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome, race fans, back to Speed Racing Network coverage here from round 8 of 24 on the 7th season of HairClub Truck Series action. Working lap 21 of 50, and everyone's re-racked, restacked. We're going to try it again here from Pocono. Restart coming with Drake Carty, Matthew Greathouse, Austin Long, Justin Smith, Bo Brady, Jason Green, Kyle Speed, Sean Long, and David Flanagan. So is the iRacing.com safety vehicle. Find its safety down in the pit lane, the field, in the hands of Drake Carty. Green flag back in the air. Wall right in front of us. Cracky's gonna go around. Many trucks going around in the back of the field. 78 of Carl Bond spinning down the back straightaway, and trouble for at least 4 or 5 trucks. Many a bumper panel flying down the back straightaway to Long Pond straightaway here at Pocono.
First thing we saw there was Bo Brady's truck. It slammed in the outside wall, and you still see bumper covers flying around there. The aftermath, and then obviously when that happens that close to the front of the field, it's going to be chaos behind them.
Well, we'll just take a replay of the same shot we're looking at.
He's already
Brady.
around.
Yeah,
he's already around by the time they get to the corner exit.
Vickery in trouble, and who's the green truck? Robert Vick in trouble. Carl Bond,
Yep.
Radke. Many trucks in trouble there. So yeah, let's go back and see what happened to Bo Brady. Just getting into this mess. He clearly either got sideways or got some help or both. So here we are.
Yeah, considering where he was around in the corner.
A little bit of net-coated contact that kind of finishes the job there. Big hits there. Oh, there's a few more hits than
right there.
A few more hits we were then let on about there. You know, quite a few trucks in trouble back here.
Yeah.
Sean Long, big hit.
I don't know who that was. They got the inside wall there twice, but that was a tough lick. But that was a situation. It looked like obviously net code there, but I think the 9 was going to self-clear himself anyway. Would probably be the right assessment, Emerson.
I think he was going to slide up. Was he going to be clear? Probably not. Was he going to leave a lane for Justin Smith on corner exit? I don't know. And I guess we'll never know now. But That
Guys do a
is.
good job of just stopping, just, coming to a complete stop there behind, letting the wreck kind of unfold. Because, like I said, with those walls on the inside and outside, it kind of like a Dover kind of situation where the track just becomes blocked.
Yeah, right there out of turn 1, absolutely.
Hard
Big hit there
right
for
on that edge.
Sean Long.
It's good a couple of times. Probably some terminal damage, I'd imagine, with how hard that hit was.
That was a hit. We're right on board.
This will give you a really good look of what we mean too by just the walls kind of closing in.
Sean Long was having a good run too, but got a truck in front of him. Jason Green took a big hit there.
Oh,
Wow.
that Ben Park that
Yeah. Yeah, it
snuck
was.
on by right there. Wow. It was almost too quick for me to catch the number on that truck.
Jason Kratke's on board. He gets hit from behind.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing too major there.
Does a good job staying out of the rest of this though. You see how narrow it is right there.
Yeah.
Everything kind of pulling back together and tough situation, but it's hard to see too coming out of that corner. Chaos unfolding.
You also get to help Robert Vick does. A lot of people, I mean, when you're back there, you got 30 trucks in front of you, man. You don't really have the clearest view of what's going on. You're relying
as big
on
as this track is, you would
Yeah.
think you have the time and the space, but in reality, it's not quite what ends up happening.
We're doubled up and getting ready to do this again, JB, and still the same front row. We have to wonder, what is Matthew Greathouse thinking? What's the game plan for Matthew Greathouse?
Obviously Greathouse ran for my team last season, so I got to know him pretty well as a driver, and he's really good when it comes to just taking care of stuff and thinking about the race as kind of a marathon. Digging away piece by piece, just being at the right spot at the right time, making it happen, not doing anything to really put himself in a big risk. And that's why we saw him year after year, even though he went winless, always in championship contention, because he would just finish the races and finish them well. And so, Drake is a little bit more of what we see the aggressive driver be, right? So he might be willing to take more risk. So I think Greathouse is just going to let him do that and try to clean up when things go wrong. So we'll see what that looks like. But he's got a couple hungry drivers in that row behind him too, with Justin Stefanovic and DeLong. They're going to want to get up in this action as well. So probably in for a pretty entertaining restart here halfway.
Certainly could be. This time by will be halfway through our event here from Pocono. The iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down in the pit lane. The field in the hands of Drake Carty. Green flag back in the air here from Pocono. Not sure what's going on yet. The caution is out, and it's Dan Park.
So 7 to the 1-7.
Both
I
Parks
don't
have
believe
spun
he
in
hit
that
anything.
spot today.
I think he came away unscathed there. But we did see everybody all over the place on that restart. They definitely fanned out.
The intensity is definitely picking up. Dan Park.
Loose. Oh, it just gets crossed up.
Yep.
Brother Ben does a good job avoiding him there. It could have been a double park incident, but turned out to just be one of them.
Just a single park.
Single park, yep. Thinks he just gets a little light on him.
It's a
Oh,
little bit of contact.
yeah, I
with
didn't see
Spencer
that at
Brown.
first.
He slid up
Yeah.
into him.
Doesn't hit anything though, which is the most important part, right? So just gonna need a new set of tires on that thing, but he's got plenty. If you have a truck right there on your outside coming off the corner, that's a tough spot to be in aero-wise, and it's even worse if he's not giving you a lot of room. You just get up in that door and
Well, JB, this is interesting, right? Because we haven't put many laps on these tires, right? I'm not saying, you know, the front runner should think about pitting, but, you know, is there? I mean, I guess if you're at the back, you know, what's the point of saying no? You know, don't come down. Well, we actually have a front runner. Kyle Spees.
Here comes Spees.
Spees is coming down.
Okay, here we go.
He's got
This
the
might answer
brain.
your question. Yeah.
He's got the brain working. Everyone's gonna make it on fuel. The question is tires.
So the ones that came down here: Kyle Spees, Wally Bag, Corey Stahl, Ben Park, Jeffrey Vickery, Jason Kratke, and Shane. Some of those guys may be fixing a little bit extra damage, but first group of those guys there, trucks are clean. So this is purely a strategy move by them. 100% you can make it on fuel, obviously, but we have how many laps on the tires, Emerson, since they last pitted? 5 or 6 green flag ones, maybe.
No, green flag is gonna be hard to count, but 15 total laps.
15 total. So that's probably about half of those.
Yeah.
Are green flag laps.
Eight green. I give you 8 green.
So that's not a ton, but that does make a difference. That's going to be a lot of trucks to pass, though. That's
I was gonna say
thing.
that, and if we do get back into a green flag run here, JB, you know how incredibly difficult it is to make that many passes under green here at Pocono. And here's the
kind of track.
Here's the flip side. Speaking about track position, if we don't get a green flag run, what kind of a position do you just put yourself in for inevitable chaos?
Exactly. I mean, we've seen it mid-pack and back all night where guys have been getting crossed up, spun out, whatever. And yeah, you put yourself right in the hornet's nest, basically, is the best way to put it. But I mean, this is like you said, Emerson. Track position matters, and at Pocono, you know, passing 5 trucks is a feat, but they're gonna have to get around about 15 of them.
Yeah.
So,
but is it going to be enough, right? Will it work out to the point where in, you know, 15 laps from now they're in the top 5 and they have 8 lap fresher tires than the leader and they're not used up, they're not overheated, they're not, you know, ran through 7 heat cycles? Will it pay out? You know, right. It's a gamble you're taking, and very much so. If you can put yourself in that position, great. I think it will do you wonders. But man, it is a gamble.
Yeah, I think it's also. Yeah, I think for that to work though, we just gotta go green. I think
Kyle
if we get more
Spees is
caution,
P20.
I just don't think. Yeah, that's a lot of trucks. Not saying he can't. He's one of our better drivers, and if anybody can do it, it's gonna be him. But
I'd say the restart's crazy, but no yellow, right? He can get up to maybe 12th on a very awesome restart. He still has, you know, 11 trucks to pass.
On the backside of that, if I'm Ben Park, I kind of like this because I'm just going to follow him through.
Yes.
Because once you get a truck out of the groove and kind of break the momentum, you know, you can get passed by a few trucks. And, you know, if I'm those guys that pitted, I'm just going to get behind Kyle Spees, and I'm just going to let him move them and just pick up the rest.
Very intriguing. We'll see if track position is the name of the game tonight here from Long Pond, Pennsylvania. And so the restart ensuing: Drake Carty, Matthew Greathouse, Dylan Godinez, Austin DeLong, Connor Cunningham. Welcome him inside the top 5. Justin Smith, David Flanagan in that beautiful truck. Michael Sidor, the 86. Spencer Brown and Sean Long, by the way, 2 drivers who would love a top 10 tonight. So here we go. The iRacing.com safety vehicle will make that sharp left-hand turn into the safety pit lane and avoid those commitment cone barrels. Great Cardi will lead us back to green. All the way down to the paint. Down on the front straightaway, some of those trucks go. I think Lane Doyle was working on some of that checkered flag paint down there. My goodness. 3 wide as they enter turn 1. It's Flanagan up high, Merriman in the middle, and Doyle down low. Can they come off of turn 1 in one piece? They do. Plenty of space, plenty of way to do it. But here we go down into the tunnel turn. Who's gonna give?
You don't want to give up all that momentum getting in, but you don't want to get in there 3 wide either. Great job so far getting to the corner. Spencer Brown takes it all the way up top. Looks like they'll all make it through unscathed and okay. We got one truck way up the track in the back. Can't tell who that was.
Way up there. Just making sure the wall is still up there. Good on them.
Yeah, it confirmed. The pace car made sure the barrels were still there on Sunday.
Yeah.
I like that reference you made there.
Here we go, battle for P2. Connor Cunningham on the up.
Well, we haven't talked about him tonight, have we?
He's gone up to P2.
He's made his way up to P2. Here we go. You know what? And he wants that Watkins Glen race back. And so I think he's driving with a little bit extra motivation right now.
Truck around, back straight away, saves it. Oh wow. My goodness. Who was that? Sean Corcoran. Very unfortunate to lose all that track position, but what a job to save
not
that.
Only a good save. Great job not to hit anything
truck.
Else. Yeah, I don't.
Man.
That's a tough. We've seen wrecks there all day, and we've seen trucks bounce off the inside wall there all day, and he does a great job.
Last lap, Drake Carty ran a 55.68. By the way, fastest lap of the day was the 59. Right behind him, Connor Cunningham ran a 55.70. So Connor was also making a pass. Now that side, Connor was about a quarter second slow. So Connor needing to really pick up the pace if he's going to have anything for Carty. But still, great run. Up 11 spots from where he started, Mr. Cunningham is.
Oh, Jason Green, Joe Ruggles.
Caution.
Ruggles is backwards against the outside wall.
Struggle for Ruggles continues.
Jason Green was the other party in this. Haven't really talked about him tonight, but he's just been running pretty solid right in the middle of the field.
Not where Jason Green wants to be running, by the way, either at this point.
Yeah,
having
a little bit of damage there.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, that 96 almost went over.
Yeah.
You saw that right there when he first got sideways.
Almost Talladega Part 2.
Yeah. Now we've seen him take a few rides. Fortunately, he's been upside down this season a little bit more than he likes, but that was it's tough to tell there how deep they were in corner entry. Obviously, the 55 has the right to run whatever line he. But
We'll
I
see
wonder.
here. Right above.
Be a really good look at it. A little side drafting going on. Everything. All of this is fair game here.
Green going up, going up. Ruggles had the corner. You know, at some point, you got to turn into the corner. I
doubt
think,
that Jason was going to run that high in the corner.
Yeah. I don't think Ruggles did anything wrong there.
I think he was just trying to. I think Jason was trying to hold the side draft a little bit too long.
For sure.
And that, I mean, we're talking a little too long, and that's all it takes.
Yeah, I mean, When you're running at 170, 180 miles an hour, inches is all it is.
Yeah.
Take a look at this angle here. They'll be coming to
Like
the
I
shot a
said,
little later.
The 55 has the right to run over the line, but you gotta still, you'll see all the trucks natural progression into the corner. Maybe a little early there by the 96 coming down.
Sure, yeah.
All everybody else was entering, but that's not egregious by any means, as far as how early to turn in.
You know what? I think maybe both of them share a little blame there, and that's what we call a racing incident.
Uh-oh, pit road. Leaders are in.
Wow. Leaders in.
So maybe Speeds is going to get the track position he was aiming for after all.
Now,
It'll be interesting to see here if it's
I don't agree with this many people
tires
coming down.
And they don't need fuel, so this has to be a tire play.
But you know what, JB? There's a reason why
We're not
I'm in the
driving
booth
right
and
now.
not out there anymore.
There's a reason we've retired from
Yeah.
behind the wheel days, at least in SRN.
Yeah. I never got that elusive SRN.
I got 3 of them, all in one season, so I guess I got it all out of my system. But you know, every one of them I won, it was not on raw speed. I'll tell you that. Not the fastest, but I like to be unique in strategies. But that's what it takes sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're a driver and you realize, hey, I'm not the fastest truck out here. I got to do something different than everybody else. That's where we get these interesting finishes and interesting. I mean, Emerson, we've seen fast trucks dominate races and win this year, but then we've also seen dominant trucks not finish in the top 5.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just one of those things. Now, cycling back up the front, Lane Doyle, Evan Carlbon currently hold the first 2 spots.
First time we're gonna have somebody over in Cardi lead under green this year. This race.
Oh yeah, hold on now. Yeah. And then Speed's up to 3rd, so Speed now has that track position. Obviously, just a couple laps on those tires, so you know, a little difference, sure, but nothing that I think is going to make a large difference. And now that same group that we talked about that was having to pass, you know, the trucks that stayed out, it's flipped. Now those guys have to pass these guys, and that's
it's going to be harder because before Kyle Speeds Kyle Speeds is going to have to pass trucks on 15, 20 lap old tires compared to his age. These guys that just came in, they got to pit and pass people on, you know, 4 lap green flag tires. A lot harder of a task than what, you know, the people who came in on lap 27 were going to have to deal with. So I think now the way it's worked out, obviously hindsight is 2020. The drivers who pitted on lap 27 are in a fantastic spot. But seeing that happen, I cannot believe. I'm okay with some drivers trying it, especially the ones. And you know, Cardi, he's locked into the playoffs. He's got 2 wins. Cardi's fine. He can, you know, try whatever. If it works, great. If it doesn't. But all those drivers that followed him in, I find is absolutely wild, knowing how, you know, treacherous it's been today on restarts and how the mid pack has been, that you wouldn't just go for track position right there. I am shocked not like one person stayed out that hadn't pitted on lap 13. The only person who's still out here is Sean Corcoran.
Especially if you're running like 10th or something. You know?
Yeah.
Like you just know, hey, I'm not up there to win it. I'm kind of in between strategies. But those guys with new tires are right behind me now. Why not give it a shot? I agree with that 100%. I think sometimes you just got to do what they're not, and that's your best. That's your best idea. Especially if you're going for a win. I mean, it's still a win and you make the playoffs, right? So everybody's still hunting that win. That's what's most important. So we'll see how this develops, but all those points.
So this will be fun. This will be interesting. For the first restart today, it will not be the 59. It'll be the 47 of Lane Doyle to lead us back to the green. Evan Carlbon will restart second. Kyle Speeds, Wally Babb, Corey Stahl, Daniel Park, who was just facing the inside wall a few minutes ago, Jeffrey Vickery, Ben Park, Shane Ledoux, and Chris Luttrell. The top 10, green flag back in the air. 14 laps to decide it from Pocono. Oh, truck around! Oh,
Godinez.
no! Dylan Godinez off the racing surface, but the caution comes out. And I just saw him, JB. That was one of the first times these guys really tried to fan out on a restart, and Godinez bit it.
I think I know why, Emerson. I was watching it. I think the 59 of Drake Carty tried to lay back a little bit, and it accordioned everybody together. And it's going to find the weak link in the line, right? And that's going to just fan everybody out, and I think that's what happened.
See, is Carty big gap in front of Carty? You're right.
Yeah, you see that right there?
That is.
Yeah.
He kind of pays the price for it a little bit, but the one who pays is his team owner.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And you're right, JB. Laying back on a restart that much, I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but that's got to catch your eye for sure.
Yeah, I think admin team's looking at it right now. Obviously, they review those restarts and stuff.
Yeah.
That's just, I mean, half a truck length's one thing. That was like you can fit 2 trucks, maybe even 3 in that gap. And that's what happened though. It found the weak link in the line, and everybody fanned out. And then it's just you don't have a real spotter talking to you and telling you like 5 wide. Only so much you can do.
Here's Spencer Brown's point of view from the restart. He makes the contact with Godinez, and we'll see just how jumbled up he can get back here, JB. And I bet he's getting green flag, green, and truck's back in his lap.
Oh.
Right about now, tries to pass him, and truck to his inside now as well. So now he's in a bad spot, and yeah, I wouldn't know what to do either. Truck to the inside and everything.
With that, I mean, Spencer had room there.
Sure, yeah,
I think
he did. I think maybe he just panicked when a truck got to his inside. But you are 100% right. He did have space to go lower. Shane Wolf tries to play this one out pretty well. It almost works out for him. We'll see what. Okay, Shane Wolf gets a good run. And everyone stacks up. Shane Wolf, huge run, wants to go inside of the 71. I think it's just a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, when you kind of throw the 14 into the equation there as well, you kind of think, okay, maybe the 71's just leaving that lane in case the 14 jumps it. But that's yeah, I mean, as you say, Emerson, that's just tough. I just got word Drake Carty end of line penalty for that restart violation. That we see right there on the screen with that giant gap in there.
I mean, he basically had to look at Nissan, how big that gap was in front of me.
I mean, you can get away with some stuff there, but that's
I mean,
they're gonna look at that. Yeah.
Everyone's gonna try to get their half car length, from even a full car length if you're hidden in the field, right? We're drivers. Everyone's gonna try to game the system, get as much as they can without lighting up the scoring tower, but. That was big.
And the further back in the field you are too, the more you can kind of take advantage of that. And so that's kind of why that rule exists. But it is also that rule exists to prevent incidents like this happening.
Yeah, that's
where the field
exactly.
Stacks, everybody fans, and it just gets really, really messy.
Exactly why it was put into place. 100%. So that's intriguing, right? And I wonder, what Godinez is thinking. He got his truck spun and slams to the inside wall for almost no reason to the truck he owns. That's gonna be an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, we'll have to follow up on that story. Sounds like some stories, Emerson, when we get to our All-Star break, we'll have to unpack. We can ask the tough questions during that week, because everybody's gonna be focused on just having a good time. We'll probably get more interesting answers. But so mark that down for the must ask in the All-Star press conference.
What's the temperature?
Media availability time.
Yeah,
exactly. But this is the first we've really seen that kind of stuff play out this season. Stuff like that outside of just being in the wrong place at the wrong time together. Happens as a heat, but we'll reset up front, and we'll see if we can get a couple green flag laps in here, what the strategy play looks like.
Yeah, so to restart, we just went through the top 10 right before the last restart, JB. A lot of names up here that have been in the inside wall or spun round or in trouble today. They now find themselves up inside the top 10.
Sometimes your strategy makes it for you, you know? Like, sometimes you're in an incident in a spin, guess what? Your strategy is now one way.
Yeah.
To get back to where you need to go.
You spin out, you gotta put tires on it.
Yep, exactly.
The iRacing.com safety vehicle hands the reins to Lane Doyle. Green flag back in the air, 10 laps to go. Try it again here, boys. Down the front straightaway. Little bit of fanning, nothing crazy. Could be all okay in the morning.
All right, a little bit of more action. Respecting boundaries. Almost three-wide action back here. Greg Carty was using the flat.
New leader here at Pocono. Oh my goodness, David Flanagan has had a huge incident. Big hit for Austin DeLong in the 22.
Oh, that's big.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we're gonna have a few things to unpack here.
Wow. Those were some heavy impacts. And well, it all starts with contact to David Flanagan's right rear. Let's see what we can deduce. He's racing Matthew Greathouse pretty hard. A little bit of net-coated contact, and Flanagan hits that wall, bounces across traffic. I mean, sits on drivers' hoods and roofs, and
Yeah.
Austin DeLong eats sand barrels for lunch.
Yeah, Austin probably had actually the toughest hit there because he hit him kind of sideways. It looks like the 5 was just trying to clear himself up, and the 8 was there, and kind of similar to what we saw with Bo Brady earlier in this race. Just the trucks get stuck together.
Truck in his face, and then
oh wow,
that is a hit. And Mark Person,
you might have the best view of that. You know, he had the bottoms of trucks pointed right in his windshield. But
oh man, 71 there of not even sure who that.
Spencer Brown, he came
Spencer
in
Brown,
late
yeah.
there,
I wanted to
kind of behind it all.
check in on Austin DeLong.
Couple trucks were in the middle of that just got kind of ping ponged around.
Yeah, you're right. This is gonna be a view from Mark Person. Check this out.
Our interim camera guy here.
Oh my goodness.
My goodness. Ooh, somebody catches the back. I can't tell who that is that caught the back of the truck that was on the inside there. That was a hard hit as well.
I mean, huge hit. Trey Carty was trying to make it through that as well. By the way, he just got EOL'd. Let's see how, Carty makes it through this after having to serve, his reprimand for his restart games last time. This is what Carty had to see.
You see these violent hits. They're still going pretty quick. They're still going quick.
He got away with it relatively nice. He got hit both sides, but just a little bit.
Will be just fine. But, I mean, they're still going 140, 150 miles an hour coming off that corner there. Those hits are going to be pretty violent. Should be a good view up here too.
Wow.
Man. Ooh, almost makes it through.
Almost. Huge hits.
He'll be all right too. Just got him on the side there. A lot of trucks involved in that incident, though. The list is pretty long. Connor Cunningham, I think, might have sustained some damage too. I couldn't tell, but the 5 was in the air. And I couldn't tell if he caught the 24 or not. Ooh, did he land on his deck lid? We might have to take a closer look at that. I think the 5 truck landed on the deck lid of the 24. Which is where that damage came from. Can't make that stuff up.
In the deuce here.
And that's, Connor's doing nothing wrong right there. Just a truck is 2 truck lengths off the ground flying right at you. Only so much you can do. Good view over here.
Yeah, Connor.
Yeah.
Found that as well.
Hit the wall a little bit, but
Greathouse also ate the pit barrels.
That was Greathouse that got hit.
Wow, instantly towed.
Yeah, there's nothing he could have done there. I think.
That might be a record time to tow. Oh my goodness.
He had a hotkey on that one. Merriman got a little piece of that incident as well.
He was ready.
And a bunch of trucks involved.
This is a good one.
This would be a good view. This is a great view right here, probably.
Wow.
Smith gets a little bit of the lead wall there, but that truck will be okay. Can't tell if that was the 14 that just decided he's going to take pit lane instead. That was a good idea.
Well,
get away from that.
This restart, JB, is a single file restart with 6 laps to go. Green flag back in the air. Evan Carlbon leads us back to green.
File probably because the admin not needed after a restart incident.
Truck in the wall. Think we're okay as they all try to avoid it down the back.
Well, Shane Ledoux that got the wall there. Definitely a smaller amount of trucks. Out there on track.
Yeah, it's gonna happen when you lose about 10 of them to the pit barrels. So Evan Carlbon now leads. It's Kyle Spees trying to take it away from the 78.5 to go from Pocono. Also in hot pursuit, Lane Doyle, Wally Babb, Dan Park, the top 5.
The guys that most recently hit it, I don't think they're up there very high yet. They're still battling up front. Those guys are going to run out of laps here. To go for them.
Carlbon has to defend. Kyle Spees up high. Making a little bit of contact. More contact. Spees into the wall.
Keeps it straight, but is going to lose a lot of track position. Probably not going to be too happy about the move.
I wouldn't be.
The driver of the 78 stumbles everybody up behind him. Now Dan Park.
Dan Park tries to stay to the inside of Babb. Nearly collects the 99. Babb and Park, they have slightly fresher tires than Carlbon and Doyle now leading this thing. Doyle, big run on the 78, side by side into the tunnel turn.
Great corner by Lane Doyle. He's going to easily clear to the lead. Wally Babb's now going to try to get through there as well.
New
Babb with a
leader.
little damage on that machine. He's still in it.
The 47. Now Babb trying to find a way through to 78. Dan Park trying to find his way with the 99.
You
Park
think
to the inside of Babb.
99, they kind of have that affiliation with the team that Steve's runs for. Are they going to try to avenge him? Dan Park, though, getting up in the mix.
Park tries to send Babb, trying to make that middle lane work. Park
Oh,
into the
man.
side of the 99. Introduce Corey Stahl to the battle. Brother Ben, P6.
Here we go.
All of this happening behind Lane Doyle with 2 laps to go, this time by. Doyle leads, 3/10 clear of Evan Carlbon. Carlbon, hot trouble now with Wally Babb, Daniel Park breathing down the tailgate of the 78 machine. Off of turn 3, 2 laps to go.
They're just running out of time now for these guys to mount a run. Gotta get up there with these guys. Lane Doyle looking nice with just a lead just under half a second.
Lane Doyle doing everything right. Hits the apron there a little bit, but it'll hold station now. The 6 trucks behind, they've all kind of stalled out in their runs. And they hold station for now. Hold serve. Into the tunnel turn for the penultimate time. Carlbon sideways, back across traffic, hard into the wall, back down.
No caution.
Big time damage. No caution.
He has some steering issue. That thing is rocking pretty bad, but
1 lap to go.
78's out of the mix, and Lane Doyle is looking real nice with his half-second lead. But Wally Babb, he's got clean track now.
Lane Doyle trying to get a 2nd win on the season. Wally Babb trying to get his 1st. Babb has to make up 3/10 in 2 corners. It's not unheard of, but it's a tall task.
He's gonna have to have a really, really, really good tunnel turn here.
Into the tunnel turn for the final time. Good center, but Doyle nails the exit. Vickery sideways behind. Into turn 3 for the final time today. Lane Doyle. Through all the chaos and controversy, Lane Doyle wins his 2nd race on the season, this one at Pocono. Wally Babb,
run.
Daniel Park, the podium.
Man. And if you would have told me that was going to be the top 10 today, after the first 15 laps, I would have told you you're crazy. There's no way.
No way at halfway did I think anyone but Cardi was going to win this race.
That's just how this shakes out, man. It's a combination of just the incidents happening where they happened, who was caught up in what, the strategy. Obviously, there's going to be some hurt feelings after this one based on some of the incidents we saw. Admins are going to have to go ahead and carry those conversations with those drivers if needed. But Lane Doyle, also, in addition to winning this race, is going to keep his points lead.
Yes.
With the leader of points coming in by just a couple points, just 3 points to be exact. Now
Cardi was hot in pursuit of that point lead.
But that shows you, Cardi, you know, when he got out of that clean air, that really neutralized that truck. I know he was kind of in that incident there, but he really wasn't making up a ton of time, and so I think you just see there how, at the end of the day, clean air is king, and once Lane Doyle got it, he wasn't going to let it go.
Down to the paint.
Drivers came up to
Once again for Lane Doyle. That was Lane Doyle's racing line down there.
I was just commenting, Emerson, on how many drivers came to give him a little bump after the race. Lane Doyle was highly regarded in the field. One of the cleanest drivers out there in the field. So always good to see one of those guys take home the victory. Looks like he might have some teammates out here too, celebrating. think we'll have plenty to talk about.
A good one.
One of the best on burnouts as well, might I add. It's a lot of practice.
Oh, there it goes. Didn't have too long with that engine.
It got him far enough.
It did. Got him far enough. It got him to the end of 50 laps in position number 1. And so we're going to take this opportunity to talk to our race winner for the second time this season, driver of the number 47 in Lane Doyle. And Lane, tell us about that final restart and working your way past Evan Carlbon and the like to snag victory tonight here at Pocono.
Well, those last couple of restarts were interesting. I jumped a bit early on the restart when I was side by side with Evan. Had to get off the gas, and that let him take it through one. And at that point, with how hard it is to pass, I thought, oh, well, it's over. And then Speeds got past him like, oh, well, I guess a 1-2 is over. Because we gambled throughout the night. We pit early, took tires when no one else did. We were hoping for a long run, which, boy, did we get the exact opposite. I'm surprised it worked out, but on that last restart, when Spees and Carlbon got into the wall, I knew I had a chance again because Evan had damage. And then once I got around him, you know, he did what a teammate does. Sadly, he couldn't finish where I think he should have. But this is a team win through and through. The four of us ran well tonight. Very good day for Pocono. Usually I'm not too good here, but I guess I turn my luck around.
Well, nonetheless, Lane, it was... Well, go for it, JB.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, you know, I commend you on how you concluded that race with just getting, you know, when there was a lot of chaos out there, the whole race, doing your best job to make a nice, clean, well-executed pass. I mean, obviously that wasn't something that was happening out there a lot tonight, but it's always refreshing to see, you know, when push comes to shove and we only have a handful of laps left, that's what decides it. So we really liked watching those last few laps of driving.
Oh, yeah. I always try to keep my driving as contactless as possible because I like the guys I race with. I don't have beef with any of them. There's no point in moving someone out of the track, up and out of the groove, especially at Pocono, a one-groove track. You're going to send them to the wall. So there's just no need for that. And I'm so surprised I kept my truck clean after we pit and started at the back. There's a few times there where I screamed. I have my phone back here, so anytime during the caution, I can read text messages to me and my family that watch. And at one point, someone spun in front of me, I think it was a 7. I let out a scream that could have rivaled that of the opera. My mother and grandmother in the living room heard that one, so apologies there if I broke any glass out there.
Well, Lane, getting your second victory on the season, I'm sure you were looking at the points and saw Cardi was very much closing that gap on the point lead. You'll reopen that gap today with another great victory here. And coming up next is Richmond. What do you think about your chances at the 3/4 mile short track in VA?
I didn't like it before this new physics model got released for these trucks, but now I love it. You can roll the bottom so much better. Highline works for some reason, but I'm okay with that. I'm excited for it next week. If we can clean up our racing, it's going to be a blast next week, and I hope I can run well up there too.
Well, Lane, congratulations on your second victory on the season. Best luck to you next time out at Richmond.
All right, thank you guys. Hope to see y'all then, and happy Veterans Day. It's a day out, but still time to celebrate.
Absolutely. And so that was our race winner, driver of the number 47 in Lane Doyle and JB. Now we're joined with our second place finisher, driver of the number 99, Wally Babb, our second place finisher tonight.
What's
Hey,
up?
Wally, that was quite the final restart. Walk us what's going through your mind as the dominoes kind of all keep falling around you, and you just keep kind of working your way, placing yourself in the best position to try to take advantage of everything, and ending up with that second place finish.
Well, for starters, this season I feel like I've been running 13th, 14th, like the competitions here this year, and did not find myself to be up in that position at this track tonight. And I'm up there, Corey, teammates up there, all our other teammates are out, and I'm like, hell, let's just give it what we got. You know, we got kindly fresh tires. Let's just try to hold them off because the cautions kept coming out, so it's working out for us. And I'm just trying to drive this thing as hard as I can and, you know, keep clean. And I feel bad for Carl. I think it's Carl. I don't know exactly what happened in that turn, but I know we made contact. But I want to tell him I'm sorry. I did not mean nothing. I try to be the cleanest driver out here. But you know how it is. It happens.
Absolutely, and Wally, you kind of seen everything happen in front of you. You know, as you said, you know, you're trying to be clean. Does that change when you see like you know, everyone else kind of getting a little more physical? You know, like what could be done to you, or you just kind of keep that, you know, demeanor.
Oh
No
yeah,
matter
yeah.
what?
Well, you know, there was quite a few wrecks that happened right in front of me. Like I think it was the first wreck I got into one of them drivers. You know, wasn't enough to damage me, but I try to focus on like how they're driving. If there's a couple of cars and they're really close, could they wreck out? Where's my getaway or escape plan? You know. And even Dan was on me. I'm trying to hold him off, but I don't want it to get. You know, I don't want to have to throw down towards him. You know, if he can get around me, I'm going to let him go. I'm not trying to take us both out. I just want to finish this race and get a top. I'd be happy with a top 10, but I'll take this one. I'll take second.
Well, Wally, I'm sure this will be a nice boost for your season. As you said, it's been pretty intense out there. Coming up next is Richmond. What do you think about your chances there?
I like Richmond. I'm looking at how many trucks we got in the field and how brutal Richmond can be. So I'm going out there to definitely try to run and just stay clean. I'm not trying to hot lap it. You know, I just want to make it through and then get towards the end and then see what we got.
Well, there you go. That is our second place finisher, driver of the number 99, and Wally Babb. Wally, congratulations on the second place finish tonight, and best luck to you next time out at Richmond.
Hey, shout out to Threat Level and
Hey.
Lucky Dog and SRN and all the sponsors.
Appreciate you all. I thank you.
Absolutely.
Hey, I love going back and watching y'all's broadcast. Y'all do a good job.
We appreciate it. We try at least.
Yeah.
You guys
Hey.
help when you put on a really good show.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a lot easier for
Hey,
us.
I try to drive it and keep it straight, okay?
Hey, we always get some highlight reel moments from you, it seems like. So keep doing that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was our second place finisher, driver of the number 99, and I know this one is about to be ecstatic here, JB. Our third place podium finisher, driver of the number 7, Dan Park. Dan, how about it, man? You fought through all that. You were facing the inside wall about 15 laps ago, and you finished third, man. How about that?
Yeah, it was definitely an up and down race for me. Had a little contact with Spencer Brown, spun it out. It was mainly my fault. I drove it in too hard. But able to fight back to get third, I can't complain.
What's
Well,
going
it's good
through
to
your
hear from
mind
ya.
as all that? Go for it, JB.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you in the broadcast booth, Dan. I feel like we haven't talked to you enough this year. First of all, going into Pocono, what was your expectation? And then based on that expectation, when you saw the race go from what we kind of see at Pocono a lot of the times is a long strategy, fuel mileage race into just trying to survive. I know you like to play a little bit of strategy, you usually like to hang near the back, kind of, keep your tank full of fuel and then just pounce when the time's right. How did you approach it when the outlook of this race really changed?
Oh yeah, I was definitely staying in the back to save fuel, and then that last pit stop that Cardi and everybody went down, I was like, bro, there's no reason for me to pit. I'm just gonna stay out and go to the front. I'll be up there with them. I know I'm fast enough to stay with them. Didn't think I was fast enough to pass them, but I could stay with them.
We certainly put that on display tonight. This third place finish, Dan, I know we had a couple of those last season as well. I'm sure this is gonna be a nice little boost for you, keep you going in the right direction here as we near the midpoint of the regular season. What's going through your mind, on your season to this point, and what do you think about what's coming up next, like Richmond?
I'm happy with my season so far. I've had some bad races, yeah, but I've had a few really good ones, like here in Talladega were really good for me. I've been in the top 10 quite a few races. I like Richmond. I was faster last year when we went. So I feel confident going back there.
Well, there you are, Dan. That is our third place finisher tonight here from Pocono, Dan Park. Playing the strategy cards right and outlasting all the carnage to be a P3 for the 7 machine tonight. Dan, congratulations on that third place finish. Best luck to you next time out at Richmond.
Thank you, sir. I have to thank Michael Steele for the paints. He's done a great job, JB and you in the broadcast. JB for the sponsors that I have on my truck, Bolify, and it's a lot of fun with this team that we have going into the season. We're all running up front, which we've seen, and I will bring home a victory this season. I see it coming.
Like it. Love the confidence. Hope to see it happen for yourself very soon then. So that is driver of the number 7, Dan Park, our third place finisher tonight. And yeah, JB, a lot of the same kind of thought process there for all 3 of them. Kind of stay out of trouble, everyone else stay out of trouble, but like keep their trucks clean and, race clean up until the end, and all of them ended up with podiums. How about that?
Yeah, and when a race turns into what we saw this evening, which is unfortunate, there's no other way to put it, but there are drivers who take advantage of that opportunity, and your drivers like Lane Doyle, Wally Babb, Dan Park, they're the best about that. They're the ones that you see, they back out of those sticky situations. They kind of just find the ebbs and flows of the race and just work a strategy, find their way up front at the end, and just kind of maintain what they have and make a good point day out of it. And that's why we see them higher. When Lane Doyle obviously has won a few races, that helps, but he's finished up. We've talked to him a lot this season with podium finishes and broadcast, and that's no fluke. Not that he's not fast, but he just does a good job surviving, and that's what it turns into sometimes. Obviously, our admins are gonna talk to quite a few people and make sure that we smooth over some of the racing issues we saw this evening, which is just a natural product of what happens sometimes. But at the end of the day, certain drivers are going to take advantage of those opportunities, and the 3 we talked to tonight are just those guys.
Absolutely. And so, with all that, we have some race results to get into this evening. And so let's go through our race results to that point. So here they are. Race winner, driver of the number 47, Lane Doyle, getting it done tonight in that 47 machine. It's Wally Babb finishing 2nd. Daniel Park then finishing in 3rd. Those are the 3 we heard from in post-race interviews tonight. Corey Stahl finishes 4th. Ben Park finishes 5th, putting 2 Parks inside the top 5. Kyle Spees was battling for the lead 1 lap, and he'll finish 6th. The next, it'll be Sean Corcoran P7. Great run for the 74 machine. Jason Kratke was nearly upside down on lap 1, was involved in that big incident entering pit lane near the end of the race, and he finishes 8th. Dreek Carty will finish P9, and Justin Smith to round out the top 10.
James Shane Wolf 11th, Jeffrey Vickery 12th, John Merriman 13th, to 14th, Mark Person 15th, 15th, sorry, Robert Vick 17th, Evan Carlbon, who we saw up there at the very end, unfortunately getting some damage, finishes 18th, Spencer Brown at 19th, and then everybody from here on was most likely involved in multiple laps down, starting with Michael Seidel.
Yeah, Michael Seidel, 5 laps down to 20th. It was heartbreakers row for the rest of it. I mean, we had a lot of trucks show up and not that many finished, man. It was crazy out there. The war of attrition the rest of the way on down. Chris Luttrell 21st, Connor Cunningham 22nd, Matthew Greathouse 23rd, Jason Green 24th, David Flanagan 25th, Austin DeLong 26th. Both Flanagan and DeLong taking wild rides with that wreck that happened with about 10 laps to go. Zachary Tallman 27th, Joe Ruggles 28th, Sean Long 29th. Bo Brady will finish 30th, and then nearly out of the race, lap 4 was Dalton McKenney, then 31st. Jeffrey Radke, Cal Johnson, very early exits, 32nd and 33rd. 3 really good names there at the bottom of the finishing results tonight, JB.
Yeah, sorry, I was just doing some points calculation, but I assume you stopped with Bo Brady in 30.
Well, I'm just saying three really big names down there. McKenney, Radke, Johnson, some race winners all having early troubles down there.
In Johnson, we saw with that big suspension damage right off that first caution. And then, Radke was caught up in a little bit of that as well. Dalton McKenney, we saw him, his bumper cover go flying down the racetrack. So, that's a situation where if you don't get the right starting spot as well, and that's what the importance of qualifying is, you get caught up in the mess there a little further back than you'd like, and that's probably what happened.
Well, that is how they came to the checkers or didn't tonight. JB, that was quite the show tonight in more ways than one. We had a pretty intense battle there at the end. We had a little bit of carnage. We had a wild wreck. I don't think any of us were expecting there about 10 laps ago. We kind of had it all. Strategy kind of did go out the window a little bit, but the fuel strategy part of it did. The tire strategy and track position strategy was very much alive.
Yeah, and that's what we normally see out of a Pocono race is track position, the fuel mileage and stuff like that. And while that looks one way in a very green flag race, it also happened in caution-filled races as well, because you're trying to determine when your last pit stop is going to be. And the drivers that ended up front did a little bit better job of that, and that's what Dan Park was talking about in his interview. It wasn't the whole, hey, this is my, he's like, I don't have to pit again. So why would I come down pit road and give him all the track position? And that proved to be what made the difference, especially Lane Doyle, right? Because he went from running 10th-ish to all of a sudden leading the race, and then once he got by the 78, never looked back. So I think it may look a little different than the typical strategy goes for that kind of racing, but Pocono always ends up the same way. I'm looking forward to Richmond.
I'm looking forward to Richmond as well. We'll have Richmond here this upcoming week, JB, and then we're starting to really get into some holiday season. We'll have a week off for Thanksgiving. We'll have the next week off for the build week. We'll have 2 races, and then the week off for Christmas, and then the week off for New Year's. So we're getting into some a little bit of a broken part of the schedule. If you have some good momentum now, JB, you got to take advantage of it, because it's about to get a little broken up here.
Yeah, it's hard to get some momentum. It's great if you have a bad week. Because you can kind of shake it off.
You can forget about it.
But it's hard to keep momentum going. But there's also some very technical racetracks coming up in that grouping too, and so it's nice maybe to have a week that you can actually spend a little bit more time on practicing as well in addition, which I know some of the drivers will take advantage of. And pretty soon Emerson will be talking about the All-Star events that we're planning for later in this year during the holiday break, and then the throwback week coming up for the race.
Yeah, some 3 very interesting tracks to wrap up the year. Richmond next week, Charlotte Roval in 4 weeks. Am I doing that math right? And Darlington in 5 weeks. That very, very interesting way to wrap up 2024 here in SRN. But these drivers are ready for it. We're ready for it. And we'll see you. Well, first, we'll see you next week as Richmond is still on the docket before Thanksgiving. That'll do it for us here from Pocono. Thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action. Shout out to all of our social media outlets, our Facebook page at facebook.com/Speed Racing Network, our X at Speed Racing Net, our Instagram at Speed Racing Network, YouTube, youtube.com/Speed Racing Network, Twitch at twitch.tv/Speed Racing Net, linkedin.com/company/Speed Racing Network, and the big boy website where you get all things news, stats, schedules, points, all waiting for you at speedracingnetwork.com. And a huge shout out to our partners here at SRN, Premier Racing Setups, HairClub, ThermoPro, Avenbox. We could not do it without them. But that'll do it for us tonight. Join us next Tuesday night as the HairClub trucks head to Richmond, Virginia for round 9 of 24 on the season. And, well, for all of us at Speed Racing Network, Jonathan Byer and myself, Emerson Arden, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next week.